success story, it was different. It was different in regards where it came effortlessly. I know that for starters. It came effortlessly to create. Um, and it was really one of those projects where I didn't involve anybody. The only person that I was involved with artistically um, was God, man, really just intertwining and feeding me the substances that I had on that project. I recorded it in a couple of different places. Recorded it um, at Bad Racket. Started it off at the Bulkley House family studio. Been down there for since it was even before the Bulkley House, and we started down there. And the majority of the project was done at the Rialto Theater in Akron. And I love the atmosphere. I love working with Nate. He's the one who mixed the project. Kind of make sure that I got the right people around me that are helping me to make sure that the sound is what it should be. I never want something to sound local, if you will. Like there's a certain sound that I feel like music should have, and if it doesn't have that sound, it takes away from the message. It's harder for you to be able to pick up what the message is if you already have to be bogged down by the sonics of the song.
You have a strong mid-range type vocal. You have a powerful vocal.
You, like basically like you don't need to like really add like a shitload of effects to your voice. Like you just like want it to sound like sit right in the track.
Right.
Like you want it. Like you want it to like be able to hear everything you say, like
right. And a lot of what we do is about subtraction. So like if you know what I mean. So like you have a vocal that's strong all the way through. You have clear diction, so we're not getting rid of a lot of the spits and you know what I mean. And you have strong diction all the way through, so we're not like separating words and turning them up because like halfway through your bar, your breath drops off dramatically, so it just sounds different. Little stuff like that. It's all based on the performance. So like your vocals have always been clear. Like you sound crazy live, bro. Like standing right here spitting, it's just like, bro, this dude has a powerful voice.
One of the things that was different about this project was how I approached it, and I was clear mind, clear spirit, clear, like from front to finish, clear mind. One of the things that I did that I start doing when I go into record is I have to set my vibe right. You know, everybody's got their things that they do to get in the mood. One of my things is I like to pray. I want to make sure that God is with me as I'm delivering this message. You know, I want to make sure that He's with me as I'm putting these words together. I want to make sure that His energy is flowing through me, that the Spirit is with me as I'm striving to put this down.
What if fit the mold as a dream? So I'm looking at him like, so from backwards, he wakes up, realizes it was a dream. And the last, it originally was called What If the Villain Wins? So it's from the perspective of, what if the enemy, the arch nemesis, the devil, what if he won it all? What if he got it, everything was good, he took over the thing. And in the song, I'm kind of painting a picture as though he pulled up on me like he big homie. You know what I mean? Like, hey, come on, ride with me, man. This is all yours. You can have it all. You know what I mean? Same way he tried to hit Jesus up on the mountaintop. You know, come on, ride with me. You know what I mean? But it's also like a balance where I'm also just saying where it's like, it's already won. I already got it. What I need you for? You know what I mean? And then also from painting that picture with what if, worst case scenario, like I had a line at the end of the song where it says, what if the women of the world were so hurt that we couldn't heal them, and the children of tomorrow never made it out. You know what I mean? So like, what if we go through so much, we put them through so much to the point where it's like it's unable to be healed, and now your future is gone. You know, that future is gone. So that's one of the things that stood out to me. But yeah, this is called What If, and it's really I realized it's a dream. I had a dream that I jumped up a cliff. What if you didn't die, and now you got this opportunity to do whatever it is that you set your mind to? What you gonna do with it?
And really just, record, able to lay that down without having anybody around, and really being able to isolate myself and get into that space.
He never made a house, but he made a tree. And he never made a painting, but he made me. Look here. He never made a house, but he made a tree. He never made a painting, but he made me. Look here.
Opening scene is that was a special joint. What I was thinking when I was actually working on opening scene is I saw the beginning of like a concert. Like I saw the beginning of like your first big deal, right? But there's some uncertainty there. Like there's those jitters, there's that nervousness that you have because you're about to do something that you've never done on a magnitude that you've never done it on. So as I'm painting the picture, I'm really just thinking about what that conversation looks like behind stage. It's almost like an angel asked me, "Hey man, how you feeling?" And opening scene is my response. I'm not going to say that I don't write, but I don't write necessarily with a pen and a pad. For me, I feel like it takes time cognitively to just write things down, and it's a lot easier for me to write the line in my head, rewind, say it again, and then add the next line on. A lot of times I find myself just recording those lines in my phone just so I don't forget them. But each line I'll add one on. I'll say the line, think of the next one, and then I'll say the first line, add the next line on, until I pretty much just have a string of bars put together, in which then most times I'll arrange them differently and compose the song. So
All right. Yep, let's try. What is success? Success is a journey, no destination. That's what they said with no explanation. So I hit the road with no reservations. Feel if I die before serving God. Let it ride. Let me get my vibe right. What is success? Success is a journey, no explanation. What is success? Success is a journey, no destination. That's what they said with no explanation. So I hit the road with no reservations. Let me hear that, Nate. Maybe I'm misunderstanding my mental GPS navigation. Hold on. Maybe I'm misunderstanding my GPS navigation for my destination. Yeah, let me punch it again. Maybe I'm misunderstanding my GPS navigation for my destination. Redirecting all my concentration, overcoming my limitations.
Well, I don't feel like it does help because it helps that delivery. It makes that delivery come more naturally when you're not having to look down at a piece of paper or something like that. If you think about some of your older entertainers, they didn't have the luxury to be able to punch in and punch out whenever they wanted to. They didn't have the luxury of having the pen and paper next to them as they're reading the lyrics. They had to go from start to finish without, any stops. You look at your cats like Stevie, you got Miles Davis, you got, a lot of these greats, Michael Jackson. If you ever see any of their studio footage, even Marvin Gaye, where they're in there, you don't see pen and paper. You see the instruments, you see them vibing, trying to capture that moment that they had when they first heard that song. And that's one thing that I really wanted to make sure that I did on this project. Bird's Eye View is this character's encounter with his ending, right? So as the story begins, it goes in a backwards order. So opening scene is really the ending. Bird's eye view would be what happened to the character. How did they end up at the end of the line? How did they end up at the finish line of life? And that's what happens in Bird's eye view. I wanted to see how it would feel to be completely relaxed, not for a lazy sound, but I wanted the delivery to sound almost like we were having a conversation, not like I was rapping, but not lacking that character, but almost like we're literally having a conversation, like, hey, it's just you and I, or even if we're walking down the street and we're having a conversation. I wanted it to be that transparent.
I rarely sit.
Yeah.
I think over like the last 2-3 years, I've decided to sit a few songs. Right. just sit down a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you. This is nice, yeah. Right. I can just, sit back in this one like Biggie would have done. What's good with you, brother? Just passing by. Hey, where you going in a hurry? I'm trying to stay about the way. I'm just passing by. Gather round as I tell you about street wars.
Okay. So let's see. So let's get the vocals down a little bit.
Gather round as I tell you about street wars.
Yeah, that's perfect. Start the verse. The verse starts right in probably like 2 bars from here. So everything before that is just hook and then warm up in the beginning of the song. So the song actually starts, I think, in like another bar or 2.
It's clear as glass houses, but fragile as crystal dreams. It's my life, and I fell short of a king.
Let me redo the first part. I'm gonna keep that part I just did. Let me redo the first part. Okay.
Gather round as I tell you about street wars and ghetto crucifixions. I'm in the making of Prophet Elijah vision. Light flashes, I lived through little and seen more than 9 lives, giving the man who requests more.
One more time. I'll keep the first part, and then you can just punch me in.
I would say that Success is probably my favorite record. I got a couple, but it's one of my favorite records. What that is it's basically me waking up feeling as though I had made it, the big debut. Like you just got signed, or at least that's what I thought.
Oh, this is what it's like to be here. Success. It's sort of like I'm floating in air. Pour another glass of champagne before we touch down. Destination's well known, but I got land in this town. Dressed in the finest linen. No more grinding to get it. A lot of stars on board. I'm finally shining, nigga. Mama told me I'd be here someday. But wait, I ain't tell her the good news. Told her when I get straight.
I thought I had just got signed, but come to find out that I was actually at the end. Like this is what death is. Like this is what heaven is, to be more specific. So that whole picture that was being painted is I was under the impression that I was now had signed this deal, and I'm sitting around here and I'm looking, I'm trying to find out, hey, where are my loved ones at? Where is everybody at? Am I the only one that's on this journey? But it's actually, the whole time I'm thinking I'm successful. I'm seeing family members that are not paying me any attention. I'm noticing as I'm trying to catch a taxi and the taxi doesn't see me. I'm running miles and miles and my legs aren't burning, and there's something weird about that, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm trying to feel these emotions, but I can't quite feel these emotions. And it's kind of portrayed in that song, all these subtle hints of what it feels like to be alive, but I'm lacking them. You know, even to the ending where you have me in this room with family members and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to talk to them, but nobody seems to be paying me attention. But in the song, it's painted as though I'm just so big that they just aren't paying me attention. However, we come to find out that that's not the case, and I've actually transitioned, in which the guardian angel, the stewardess, alerts me to at the end of the song.
Hopped off of the plane like 4:45. She said, "You're still coming back. The contract's been signed."
You know what?
Does it need one at the beginning?
No, it don't come in at the beginning.
All right. We'll just listen to your one.
This is beautiful. I'll do part of it, because part of it plays at the beginning. Take another one. Don't mind if I do. One more time. Teacher was in
All right, sir. So tell us a little bit about the song Teacher, Teacher.
Teacher is probably one of my favorite records.
It's definitely one of my favorite records. I've heard the whole thing, so that's one of my favorite records. I like the opening scene as well, though.
Yeah, Teacher is one of my favorite records. It's about, from the story perspective, this is a shining moment in the character's life. If you had to frame it where life flashes before your eyes and they ask you what moment of your life had the biggest impact, this is that moment for that character, and it's Teacher. And it's really about the relationship between educator and the student, you know, the mentor and the disciple, if you will. And it really follows the child as he's in elementary school and he's had a really tragic experience and traumatic experience that's really shaped how he is. What's dope about this is Teacher is actually, it's an unknown poem. I don't know who the author is, and it's called The Story of Teddy Stoddard. And I remember hearing this story on the radio maybe about 10 years ago, and it reminded me of my mother, you know, because in this story, the teacher's name is Miss Thompson. And while I didn't have a Miss Thompson, if you will, growing up, my mother was that Miss Thompson. My mother was that figure for a lot of students that might have been lost in the system. She was that voice or that figure when a student might have felt like they were just another number. And it resonated so strongly with me that I wanted to paint my own perspective of what it looked like. You know, this song is truly an example of imitation being the dearest form of flattery, because I was so inspired and so moved by that story that I turned it into a song.
Yeah, let me get the that sounds fantastic. Let me get the master down just a little bit, but that sounds fantastic. Yep, I'm ready. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Once upon a time, on the first day of school, there was a teacher named Ann, and teaching to her was new. Introduced herself to the new young crew and do what most people do, and said some things that wasn't true. Yeah, let me punch. Love all my students the same was the statement she said, but that was impossible. The fifth grader named Ted slumped in the row, everything dirty but his soul, and get along with nobody. The hurt is out of control. Yep. Watched him for a year, unpleasant and angry, even got a little joy from putting F's on his paper. One day she read a file about his previous behavior, and that's when she discovered the reason behind the changes. sitting here, I'm sitting on them. I'm like, you know what? I'm about to put these out, man. Teacher was influenced by my mother. Her being a teacher, her life. Ted had just lost his mother a year or two before, maybe it's like the 5th grade, and she then realizes that she hadn't been teaching students. She had simply been teaching the curriculum. She'd been teaching math or English or whatever it may be. And it was that day that she stopped teaching that particular subject and she started to focus on actually teaching children. And Teacher is a powerful song that not only represents the leaders in the world, but it also represents those that might consider themselves or feel like they're just another number in the system. TED is anyone who feels like they were not seen for who they are and what they were actually going through. And I think that's one of the problems that we face a lot in society, with people not feeling value and understanding their value and being able to take advantage of the life that they were given.